So now that we've put a lot of these pieces together, let's continue our conversation on what it's like now moving forward. We're falling up now. We're back on shore. We've gotten our oxygen tank off now because we're breathing on our own. And we're trying to figure out, now which direction do I go? What do I do next? A little better place physically. Socially, I've got a good group of people that I can count on for support. Kids are doing okay. Finances are not too bad. I've managed. I've made it through the roughest part. And now what does it look like when I move out? Where do I go now? So we've put some of the pieces back together again. And it's not the same. That building that we had in the beginning isn't the same as it is now. But the pieces are on a better foundation. We've got some good support. We have a good identity on ourselves. And we're putting some of these pieces back in place. It's not perfect. It's not finished yet, but it's there. And now we wonder, doesn't look too bad. I kind of like that. I might be able to move some things around a little bit about who I am and my relationships, but I'm okay. But now how do I move forward with that? What do I do next? What's my next step? Now, before we go into that, I do want to go back and just kind of lay this out there for you too. There's something that we call the power of forgiveness, right? And I think this is something that's going to be part of that whole process too. Forgiveness for yourself, and as hard as this is to say, forgiveness for the other person. Oh, I don't want to forgive that blank blank. Why would they put me in this situation? Why would I want to forgive him? Yeah, I understand, right? So let's just start with yourself. You can give yourself a little bit of forgiveness, and the more you do that, the more it's easier to kind of keep these pieces in place. Or in that picture I showed you of that pottery, how that came together. One of the good things that holds broken pieces together is forgiveness. It's hard. It might be the hardest thing you have to do, but it also comes from the heart, right? That act of courage from the heart. So forgiveness is another process that you have to work through. But start with yourself. Forgive yourself that, you know what, for whatever reason, this is where I am, and I'm okay, and it's not all my fault. Forgiveness for the other person might take some time, and that's okay too. It's a journey, and it might take years. For some, it might take a couple of months. But I think what you're also forgiving is the fracture in the relationship. Maybe not so much the person, but maybe just that break in the relationship. So maybe start there and move forward. So with that, now that you have this new wisdom on reality now, and these pieces seem to be in a good place, where do I go? What do I do? What about that word dating? Should I get in another relationship again? Oh my friends are trying to get me to hook up with someone, or maybe go out. Maybe somebody's arranged a dinner date for me, and I know now the way you go about dating is a whole different sphere of how do we manage that. So we'll put that aside for another conversation about what that process is like. But let's talk about what it's like to be back in another relationship. Am I ready? Do I want to? Do I even think I need to be in a relationship anymore? So maybe the first step is defining what you want in a relationship. The previous definition doesn't apply anymore, right? You've tried that. It didn't work for whatever reason. So that definition has to be changed. One of the things to check with yourself is, do I need to be in a relationship? Do I want to be in a relationship? Those are two different things. If I need to be in a relationship, chances are I might not be getting connected with someone who might be the most healthiest person to be with, because I'm going to overlook all of that. As that saying, all the red flags that I saw in the relationship, and I saw 17 red flags in this relationship. Well, sometimes all we do is collect the flags and put them in a closet, and then we look back and say, oh yeah, I got this closet full of red flags. What am I doing? But I was in a relationship, so I can overlook it. So going back and just finding out for yourself, if I need to be in a relationship, that could drive me into a relationship that might not be as healthy for me right now, especially now. So do you really need to, or do you want to? And if you want to, that's a different connection. Because now I would like to be able to explore this new self that I've created and trying to keep together with someone else, because I've got a lot of good things I'd like to share. And we're not designed to be by ourselves. We're designed to be social. We're designed to connect with other people. And it's kind of nice to be in a relationship, if we're in the relationship for the right reasons. Again, if I need to be in it, I could be going down a really bad path. And that just means I'm going to be in it no matter what, because I just can't be by myself. I understand that. But there's other ways not to be by yourself than committing yourself to a relationship, especially right away. One of the traps that happens often with clients when they come in and we're working through this recovery process, and maybe we're a month or two into it, I suddenly might hear, oh, I met someone and we went out. Oh, what was that like? Oh, we had such a nice time. He or she was so nice. Not like my other ex, not my other partner. Yeah, all right, sure. They're nice because you're also hoping they're going to be nice. And they might do some of the things that you don't remember your partner doing ever before. And that kind of is a nice place to be. But that doesn't mean this is the one. This is the one you have to get connected with. It's okay. You can allow yourself the chance just to go out, maybe have a date or two, and then just keep it there. Boundaries. Let yourself define how the relationship's going to move forward. There is no rush. We just got out of one. Give yourself some time to heal, get put back together in a good place, find someone that if you are connecting with them, just keep it that way for a while. We can talk later about how that means about bringing someone new into a relationship, if the family, if you have children. But for right now, it's just you. So if you don't need to be in a relationship, let's say now I want to be in a relationship. I'd like going out. I want to be going out with someone and have someone call me to find out what we're doing, or going out to a movie or something like that. Great. But what about you? Are you going to hold on to and not lose in the relationship? You're much more aware. You're looking at life through a new lens. And what we're doing, we got this new window on relationships, right? A new window on reality. So it's okay every once in a while, because I do this, just take out a little cleaning cloth and clean your glasses. Clean your view on reality. I don't want to get caught up in everything that I think or hope it will be, but I got to start looking at this in a better way. And if I can do that and keep that perspective, wow, it is much clearer. I can see now this relationship for what it is, this new venture that I might be going on, as opposed to, well, I really hope it would be this, or I really think it would be this. This would be great. Just keep yourself in a better perspective, recognizing that like any dance, it's going to take some time to navigate through this. There's no rush to this. There's going to be people out there for a long time, right? Give yourself some time to heal. Give yourself a chance to really know the other person in a different way this time. And if you're picking up some signs that just might not make sense, or this is making me a little uncomfortable, but I'm going to overlook it because I want to be back in a relationship, just remember those signs are still going to be there. And unless we address them now, they're going to surface again. So part of moving into a new relationship is addressing things as they come up. If there's something that's going on in this new relationship, don't put it back in a closet. Bring it out. This is really bothering me. And understand how this is working. How's the other person processing what you're telling them? Are they able to listen to it and say, yeah, okay, I see that. Maybe I can move forward with that myself. That's a good sign. If they're saying, well, I didn't notice that, or if you start getting more arguments and this process isn't working too well, probably a good time to say, you know what, I need to step back. I don't need to be in a relationship. It's tough. Need and want, two different things. I'd like to be in a relationship. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I get to share things. Looking for someone who not only shares the things that you'd like, but also brings something to the relationship. Remember earlier I talked about there's the third person in a relationship. There's you, there's the other person, and there's what you both create. Stepping back and looking at it and saying, what are we creating here together? What does this look like? What am I adding? What are you adding? And what do we both need to keep adding to make this relationship work? So if you start and you feel like you're ready to move in, not because you need to, but because you want to, just keep in mind you have a lot more control now. You cannot make that leap until you're ready, and that's okay. And what often I tell couples sometimes when I'm working with them, if they're talking about relationships, instead of looking face to face, because sometimes that could be a little unsettling, somebody might roll their eyes, they might get upset, and you react to that, sit side by side. Take that walk together so you're looking ahead, right? And we're looking now at the relationship that's in front of us. And when I came from a really rough relationship and I just got divorced and I'm not looking for any commitment. And if you hear that from the other person, okay, but maybe we need to step back and check on that once in a while. You said you're not ready for a commitment, but yeah, we seem to be spending a lot of time together. And before you know it, now we are committed. It's okay. Let's take a time and look at this again. Let's sit by side, glass of wine if you knew, or whatever you need to do, and look ahead at the relationship we're creating. Because now you're going into it with a much better frame. Your lenses are a little bit clearer. Your heart's beating a little bit better. You've got a good foundation of what you've gone through now. I don't want to lose that, but I want something that's going to add to what I've got going and make sure I'm not falling into those same cracks along the journey that before I thought were okay, but now I'm realizing maybe this isn't something I want to go back into again, right? Do they like donuts? Do they like ice cream? Do they like the things that you like that help you get through this stuff? And what are they adding? Are they adding something to this relationship, or is it all you? And do you feel like you're putting in all the effort and they're just taking, right? Now you're looking at it a little differently. And now you can get all of those things that you've been working on and use them. Use them in a way now that you might not have had to before to help you define this relationship in a better way and a better term for yourself and for the other person that you're with. So when do you start dating again? When do you start getting in that relationship? I don't know. No one knows except you, but you know when you're ready. And if you can figure out whether this is a need or this is a want, that'll help you move forward in a better place. Need, that's going to be tough because you're always going to be in a relationship and it's always probably going to be a little toxic. And you might go to the next one that's going to be even more toxic. And you don't want to be in the 3 or 4 different relationships. But maybe if I want to be, I don't need to be, I want to be. That gives you a whole different perspective on how to move forward. And now you can go step by step. It didn't happen all the way. You got to the surface, took some time, and now I get to see this brave new world out there and what's that like again. And for some of you, I know dating might be a long time. It's been 10, 20 years since I've had to do this. Oh my, this has changed. Just remember, things aren't the way they are when you first started dating. There's been some changes. So it's okay to reach out to other people and say, what is this like? I don't even know where to start. Can't meet somebody after 7th period study hall and exchange notes. Or, during spring break, we're going to go to Florida. You want to come with me to find out if we get that? That's kind of gone. That part of your life has moved on. But just remember that reaching out to others to find out what's that like, dating again, and all the social media that comes in, you can just take it at your pace. You've worked hard to get there. It's okay. Don't lose what you've gotten. And as long as you keep need and want separate, you'll be okay.